I would like to request Mr. Mathur sir, who is the founder and CEO SM Consultancy, New Delhi.
So my name is Mathur. Good afternoon. My presentation is absolutely nothing to do with healthcare, and it's more to do with how technology can help healthcare companies give you better service and have a better outcome of whatever services your business you are in. So I've kept it very brief. Normally these presentations run into a couple of hours, but here I believe the time is short, so that's my introduction. My name is Mathur. I run a technology advisory company. I'm an MBA. I work with Wipro, Tata Unisys, and IIT. For the last 20 odd years, we are providing, like I said, advisory around technology. We don't sell any products. We don't. We are not a partner with any IT company. We just study your system, and we recommend the best solution that you could buy for your organization. It could be hardware, it could be network, it could be software, it could be ERP, it could be CRM, it could be IT security, it could be privacy, anything to do with IT. The idea of the product is that ultimately it should help you get a better outcome of whatever business you are in. So a lot of people ask me when we work with a lot of healthcare companies and MVT companies and hospitals. With some of them we are working on their IT roadmap. With some of them we are working on their IT security roadmap, IT infrastructure roadmap. A lot of times we are asked a question that as an outsider, like I said, I'm at core, I am not a healthcare person. So a lot of time I am asked this question that what do you want, what gaps do you see in healthcare industry, and what, as a consultant, as an advisory company, what would you like to see, where should healthcare companies look at? So my answer to them is that I want to make hospitals like a bank. The difference between a bank and hospital is really very small. They are healthcare services. Of course, healthcare is life-serving and bank is not life-saving. But also banks also save a lot of lives sometimes, right? So I want to differentiate. I want to see that hospitals start working like banks, which means what? If I am a large hospital with chains in 10 cities, if I am a large bank with a chain of banks in 10 cities, so if I have an account in HDFC Bank or Citibank in Delhi, then I need not open. If I go to Mumbai for work, I need not open another account there to work. But in a hospital, if I am in Delhi and within Delhi also, if I have a hospital in Noida, Gurgaon, Faridabad, uh, Delhi, anywhere, every time I have to open a new account, which means I have to have an IPD number or whatever it is called, right? So I am saying that why can't hospital think of having a centralized customer monitoring system? It's not impossible. It's very simple to do, but it's not happening, right? Right? I know hospitals which are trying to achieve this, but it has not happened as of now. So if I go to branch number 2 of a hospital where I've done all my tests and checks in hospital number 1 of the same group, they will say, "नहीं sir, आपको test दोबारा कराना पड़ेगा. You have to register again." So this is something that I would like to see not happen. I'm going to pick that up as my topic of the day. Like I said, it's a very small presentation. There are no long stories to be given. So the first thing that we have to all do is that I think the hospital industry needs a change. I'm sure all of you are well traveled and you have traveled to hospitals all over the country, all over the world. And similar, the problems that we have in hospital administration in India are not visible in more developed economies. I'm talking of Singapore, Dubai, US, even Europe. So I think there is some kind of change management required at the hospital end in terms of changing the mindset of the ownership, right? So IT is not a function which is the work of the IT department. Unfortunately, I see IT department as being treated like a, I don't want to use that word, but we all know they are treated like the stepson or something. वो पीछे जाके एक गंदा सा कमरे में बिठा देते हैं उनको, which is not worth it. So IT department should be, IT should be an enabler for business. It should not be an expense. It should not be seen as a department which only spends. There is no ROI in IT. That's how the hospital administration sees IT. Most of the time, we go to hospital owners and we talk about IT. They say that no, we are all fine. Our software is working, hardware is working, netware is working, but there is no feeling of achievement there. And that's why I'm saying a change is required in the mindset of the hospital owners. Now, this is a term which is, you can't see it, but the person who said this is one of the richest man in the world, Warren Buffett. He said that in life change is inevitable, in business change is vital. So we know so many businesses which have closed down because they did not want to change. Large companies, very large companies, very large companies closed down. Nokia, somebody mentioned Kodak in the morning. They closed down because they did not change as per the expectation of the business or expectation of the customer. So I am saying that if the healthcare industry, hospitals in particular, who are ultimate providers of services, are not willing to change how they work, they will grow because there is enough business. The good thing with hospitals is that even if you are not very efficient, business is there. Like one more industry, education industry. Even if you are a bad school, even if you are a bad college, even if you are a bad, a lot of you are smiling, I can see. So I think you can relate to this dialogue. That even if you are a bad school, a bad college, you have enough students lined up for admission. So काम चलता रहता है. Similarly with hospitals, काम चलता रहता है. Even if you have good doctors but bad administration. So that's why I'm saying change is vital. The flow of my presentation, like I said, each of this is one slide. I'm going to start with what digital transformation, give you some pointers which you all know. Digital transformation, there is something called PPT framework, which I'd like to discuss in half a minute. And then I'm going to talk of the hottest topic, which is data, customer data, medical data, which is referred to as EHR, electronic health records. And then the 5 Ps, which we all know, but you will know this when I come to that. Some challenges in healthcare, which is all right. We all know it. All of us are connected to healthcare, so I will not spend much time on this. 13 billion of us, 1.3 billion of us in India. We all know this. Rural versus urban. I'm sorry, this is too small. Is it readable? No. Not readable. Is it? Okay, alright. Should have been bigger. So the rural versus urban divide in healthcare delivery is known to us. That's not rocket science. 75% of genuine class healthcare available only in urban areas, and the rural areas only 27%. We know this. Affordability, we know, is a big issue. Access to healthcare is a big issue. Awareness of healthcare. We know a lot of quacks and a lot of people who are not medically professional, they are doing this. So these are some issues which plague the industry. I'm sure there are hundreds more, but I have just written down in the morning whatever came to my mind. Can digital help with this? All these problems? Yes, we all know the answers also. yes, digital can help you solve many of these problems. Let us look at them, how digital will do this. Some of you are noting down this presentation, sir, is with Afsar and company. You can take it from them. बाद में आप ले लीजिए. But that's alright if you want, you can note it down. 0.7 बेड्स पर 1000. ये मेरी फिगर नहीं है, मैंने गूगल से निकाल के WHO की साइट से निकाली है. So if I'm wrong, then don't blame me, please. This is Mr. Google's work. 0.7 beds per 1000, जबकि WHO says it should be 3.5 beds per 1000. So these are some problems that the healthcare industry or hospital industry is facing. Let us look how digital can solve these. Some of them these answers you will already know. So what exactly is digital transformation? कोई बोलता है डिजिटल ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन मतलब है सॉफ्टवेयर लगा दूं मैं, कोई बोलता है मैं सब डॉक्टर्स को आईपैड दे दूंगा तो डिजिटल ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन हो जाएगा, कोई बोलता है कि मैं वो कियोस्क लगा दूंगा एट द एंट्री तो डिजिटल ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन हो जाएगा. So my answer to this is that everything put together, digital transformation means your customer, the UI is called UI in IT terminology is called UI and UX. User experience and user interface. यूजर कौन है हमारा स्टेक होल्डर सबसे बड़ा कौन है? पेशेंट है. पेशेंट के साथ साथ वेंडर भी है. लॉट ऑफ योर सप्लायर्स टू हॉस्पिटल, यू आर आल्सो अ यूजर, यू आर आल्सो अ मेजर स्टेक होल्डर, internal stakeholder, external stakeholder. As a doctor in a hospital, I'm not a doctor, but if I'm a doctor in a hospital, I'm a stakeholder. If I'm a nurse, I'm a stakeholder. If I'm a fellow running the canteen in the hospital, I'm a stakeholder. So can I make my access to all my stakeholders so simple that they enjoy working with me, including the patient? Of course, patient is the one who is paying for all that. All these services is being paid by the patient. So the patient access, which means user experience of a patient coming to a hospital, if I were to make it fantastic, it's like, you will not like these examples, but what to do, we are used to give these examples only. It's like booking a ticket on Make My Trip, right? Or booking a movie ticket at Book My Show, right? Why can't we have hospitals giving these kind of service? And I tell you, sir, this is not cost. ये जो मैं आपको सब examples दे रहा हूँ, उसमें cost नहीं है. Cost नहीं है. क्या है? इसमें ये है. इसमें ये है sir. This is all that is required in the healthcare industry to give fantastic user experience to the customer, which is the patient. So like I said, digital transformation means that you become an agile company. Agile, A-G-I-L-E. You become an agile company. If the customer is not feeling well at 12 in the night, then he has to wait for the OPD to open in the morning, right? Unless it's an emergency. He probably calls up and the reception is also closed, or probably there's one person, poor fellow who's doing a night duty there after fighting with his boss. So the result is that nobody is happy giving that kind of service. So why can't we, if I can book a ticket from India to US at 12 in the night, why can't I book a doctor appointment at 12 in the night? Why can't it happen, right? So that's digital transformation for me. So the devices or ideas for digital transformation is all there with you. So none of the things I'm telling you is new. But I want this industry to look positively at changing the mindset so that more and more people are happy with the services. This industry की problem पता है क्या है sir? We have the best doctors in the world. We all know, not rocket science. Best doctors in the world. MVT का discussion हो रहा था, so we consult probably India's largest MVT companies, 2 or 3 of them. And I tell you, our doctors are considered the best in the world, but our hospital administration is not considered the best in the world. I will not say how is it considered, but our hospital administration minus the doctor is not considered the best in the world, unfortunately, right? And that's what we need to improve on. So in spite of having not best services, if we are still getting $5 billion worth of medical tourism patients into India, it's only because of the doctors. Only because the doctors that they are coming to India. So coming back to the future is geospatial. I am sure a lot of you are aware. जो लोग नहीं जानते हैं उनको मैं बता दूं. This means geo means geography. So this enables us to study a particular area, particular geography, and see what kind of diseases can be spread there based on the environment, based on the infrastructure, and then take a informed call on that. This was widely used during COVID studies. Wearables we know, we have watches and all which can monitor your heart rate, AI being used, artificial intelligence being used. So all this is known. I'm not getting details of this. Hello? Okay. Telehealth, we know telemedicine is a big thing now. So these are some of the solutions where, without any adding much cost to it, hospital is able to take the first baby step towards becoming a digital transformation company. It means that you can have OPD sitting in Delhi, you can do, somebody mentioned Uttarakhand, outside, I think Hardwar and Dehradun, and somebody mentioned Chamoli. Outside these 2-3 districts, there is no medical facility available anywhere in Uttarakhand. So this solution at least gives you something out of it. Sorry. 3D printing. 3D printing. I'm sure you know 3D printers are printers where you can create a 3D image of whatever organ or whatever you call it you are working on. The doctors are working on, and then they can come out with a better decision making. Social media, of course, is a big tool for learning also, for information also, and disinformation also. So as educated professionals, all of them can differentiate between what information to use or not to use. So social media is a very, very, very big tool to spread the concept of digital transformation. This is the next thing I wanted to say. Any change, it's very easy to say change. हम सबको बहुत आसान लगता है ये बोलना कि चेंज होना चाहिए, बट चेंज करना बड़ा मुश्किल होता है अपने आप को. So I as a human being know that I should get up at 5 in the morning and run for 3 kilometers. पता है मुझे. I am aware of this, but I don't do it. So कहना कि चेंज करो, पर चेंज करना बड़ा मुश्किल होता है. In organization development OD, we talk of change on these 3 parameters. People have to change, whether it is at home or it is at supposing at home we decide no more fast food for next 1 month. कोई पिज़्ज़ा नहीं आएगा, कोई चाउमीन नहीं आएगा, कोई मोमोज नहीं आएंगे, कोई बर्गर नहीं आएगा. So people need to change. People at home need to change. Similarly, if you are introducing new initiatives in our organization, it's the people who have to change first. They have to realize that what change is being introduced is for the good of the organization. Why? Because it will result in digital transformation, which will further result in happiness or a better user experience for my patients. So people is first. Second is process. Unfortunately, many businesses we do not have what are known as SOPs defined, standard operating procedures. Unless we have processes defined for every process under the sun and processes being interlinked to each other, if we do not have processes, the best software will not work. मैं हिंदी में बोल देता हूँ, अगर हमारे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में processes defined नहीं है, written, so there are hundreds of processes. Patient आता है, first time आता है तो क्या करना है, उसके बाद डिपेंडिंग ऑन पेशेंट की क्या नीड है उसको कहाँ भेजना है, उसके बाद पेशेंट इफ डिससेटिस्फाइड तो क्या करना है, या उसका फर्दर एग्जामिनेशन होना है, टेस्ट होना है, क्या करना है. Unless the processes are defined, softwares will not solve the problem. You would have heard of a lot of people saying कि I spent crores on buying an ERP. I will not name the ERP, but it's not working. मजा नहीं आ रहा. A leading hospital in South India spent a couple of $1 million in buying a product from IBM Watson. Have you heard of IBM Watson? सुना आप लोगों ने? IBM Watson is the world's largest cancer detection and remediation software. It started in US, where lot of cancer hospitals in US were using IBM products, IBM servers, and based on the research done by IBM on the server, on the analysis of the patients, they were able to develop it's called a predictive software, which means based on your history of your medical ailments, it was able to decide that if you are unfortunately diagnosed with cancer, then what kind of treatment should be given to you based on your historical ailments, right? So processes were defined. Unless processes are defined, nothing will happen. And the third part is of course technology. जब people or processes in line आ जाएंगे तो technology will work. So the next slide is the last slide, and that talks about the 5 P's. So ये जो मैं stakeholders की बात कर रहा था कि user experience को हमें improve करना है, तो ये 5 stakeholders define किए जाते हैं. Patient, first P is patient, we all know this. Second P is physician, of course. Third P is payer. Payer will be the individual, the person who's paying the fee, or the insurance company, whosoever. Fourth is the provider, which is most of you, healthcare providers, hospitals, and of course the pharmacy. So ये 5 P's का एक framework बनाया जाता है, उसके ऊपर PPT framework को imbibe किया जाता है, and then we start the process of digital transformation. Data is something that all of us live with. I was listening to a few of you during lunch that data is something that is a gold mine in terms of value, especially medical data. So some of you asked this question about this. So the government of India is shortly introducing a new bill on personal data privacy. Personal data privacy. Personal data is defined by a term called PII. Personal Identified Information. किसी एक डेटा से अगर मैं आपको आइडेंटिफाई कर लूँ, मेरा नाम समीर माथुर है, अगर समीर माथुर के नाम से मेरा नाम जुड़ा हुआ है तो वो मेरा PII है. बट समीर माथुर तो और भी बहुत सारे लोग होंगे दुनिया में, तो उसके बाद में फाइनेंशियल डेटा होगा. जरूरी नहीं है उनका बैलेंस और मेरा बैलेंस फाइनेंशियल बैलेंस इक्वल हो, तो वो डिफरेंशिएटर हो गया, लेकिन वो दोनों का PII होगा. तो किसी ऐसी इंफॉर्मेशन से अगर पर्सनल इंफॉर्मेशन से मुझ तक कोई पहुंच सकता है, दैट्स कॉल्ड PII. So this law says in one line that it is the duty of any organization, whether you are a hospital for 100 beds, 1 bed, 0 bed, clinic, if you are a legal entity doing business in India, अगर आप एक लीगल एंटिटी हैं और आप इंडिया में बिजनेस करते हैं, तो आपके पास जितना PII है, आपके पास PII क्या है? पर्सनल इंफॉर्मेशन किसकी है? अपने एम्प्लॉयज़ की है. अगर आप हॉस्पिटल हैं तो अपने पेशेंट्स की है. अगर आप सर्विस प्रोवाइडर हैं तो अपने वेंडर्स की है. जो पर्सनल इंफॉर्मेशन आप कैरी करते हैं उसकी सिक्योरिटी आपकी प्रॉब्लम है, ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की प्रॉब्लम है. If there is any breach and if there is any harm, it's a technical word called harm audit, data harm audit. मेरा डेटा अगर चोरी हो जाता है तो उससे मेरा क्या हार्म होगा? We see all daily this on social media, right? So much of blackmailing, so much of ransomware coming on social media, through social media where people are identified. लोगों ने अपना GPS ऑन करा हुआ है, लोकेशन ऑन करा हुआ है, तो I know अगर मैं आपसे कनेक्टेड हूँ तो मैं आपको मोबाइल को हैक करके I will know where you are going after this and आप कहाँ कहाँ जा रहे हैं, and I can track you and then do a lot of harm to you, right? So अगर ऐसा harm होने से ये प्रूव हो जाएगा कि ये नेटवर्क की या जो आईटी का नेटवर्क आपके ऑफिस में लगा है उसमें इनफ प्रिकॉशंस वर नॉट टेकन, then you are liable for prosecution. Now let me give you the figure for penalty that has been proposed. Please let me remind you कि ये अभी बिल पास नहीं हुआ है पार्लियामेंट में. The penalty proposed on organization is up to 200 crores. 200 करोड़ की पेनल्टी बिल में रेकमेंड की गई है. अगर कोई ब्रीच ऑफ डेटा होता है और उस डेटा की ब्रीच से किसी का हार्म सर होता है, गुडविल. मेरी एक गुडविल है मार्केट में, है ना, मेरी एक गुडविल है. अगर वो गुडविल मेरे डेटा के लीक होने से हार्म हो जाता है तो माय ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इज लायबल टू पे पेनल्टी. Anyway, it's a very long topic. So I'm just telling you. So unfortunately, why I'm highlighting all this is that what is happening is that we work with a lot of hospitals, and unfortunately, the sanctity or the secrecy of medical data in hospital is absolutely poor. इतना poor है कि बस ये जब law आ जाएगा तो आप लोग जो हॉस्पिटल से कनेक्टेड है या जिस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से कनेक्टेड है, यू हैव टू एंश्योर दैट एटलीस्ट ऑन पेपर यू आर सिक्योर, राइट. सो दैट्स व्हाई आई वांटेड टू हाईलाइट दिस पॉइंट. डिजिटल डिवाइड हमारे कंट्री में, वी माइट टॉक ऑफ डिजिटल ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन ऑन ए वेरी लार्ज स्केल, बट द फैक्ट इज दैट आउटसाइड द रूम देयर आर 100 people working out here who may not have access to network or who may not have access to smartphones. That's a big challenge that cyber security I have discussed. I will give you some example of cyber security. Personal data privacy, I just gave you an example. So I am just telling you that digital transformation is good to do, but there are challenges, there are bottlenecks, there are gaps which are there, which need to be taken care of. And that's me. Thank you very much.